Hello and welcome to the Upcycled Design Lab. I don't know what it is about soda cans. Well, let's be honest. More often it's beer cans, but that's not the point. The point is that I really enjoy creating and crafting with aluminum drink cans. They're so easy to transform and manipulate, and because I make so many projects using beer and soda cans, I often have small pieces and scraps of aluminum left over. So in today's project, I'm going to use up some of those small pieces with the help of some pre-cut mounting tape from Dollar Tree. These tiles are so easy to make. All you need to do is remove one piece of mounting tape and stick it to the back of the aluminum, and then use a regular pair of scissors to trim around the mounting tape. You do want to leave enough space between the pieces of mounting tape so that your scissors can pass through. You can use scrap pieces of aluminum or full sheets of aluminum. I got a little addicted and I made so many that I was able to sort them by color to use for my projects. Once I had the tiles made, I selected a few items from our recycling bin to decorate with the tiles. I chose some plastic yogurt and sour cream containers, a tin can, an empty box, and I even used the cardboard tube from the mounting tape roll. To attach the tiles, you just need to remove the paper from the tape and place the tile on your project. You do want to be a little bit careful with your placement because the tape is very sticky and it's difficult to adjust or move the tiles once the tape has made contact with the surface of your project. You can place the tiles tightly together as I did on this paper tube, or more loosely as I did on this yogurt container. Your pattern can be vertical or horizontal or even diagonal, and you can place them in a linear design or you can offset them more like bricks. The tiles are easy to trim down if you need to reshape them, and depending on the project, you may want to plan out your design and spacing and colors before applying the tiles. To finish the edges of my projects, I experimented with some metal tape, air dry clay, and silver dimensional paint. The metal tape works best for finishing off the edges of your project, while the dimensional paint is good for finishing your tightly fit tiles, and the air dry clay is best for the tiles that have more space between them. There are probably some other materials that would work to cover the edges of the aluminum, but these are the ones that I used. I have used the metal tape for a lot of different beer and soda can projects, and it's easy to work with because it has paper backing, which makes it easy to measure, mark, and cut into the lengths and widths that you need for your project. It is very tacky and it molds to the shape that it covers, so I really enjoy using it on my aluminum can projects. Once I have the tape in place, I like to use the flat end of my piercing tool to burnish the tape, but you can use anything with a flat, smooth edge for this step. The burnishing helps to smooth the tape, and it also makes sure that you've secured the tape completely to your project. I used the dimensional paint to cover the edges of my tightly spaced tiles. And to use this paint, you just gently squeeze the bottle and draw with the pointed tip. This paint will fill in small gaps and cover the edges of the aluminum. And once the paint dries, you may find a few gaps that need a little bit more paint, so you can just repeat the application process where needed. To fill in the larger gaps, I used the air dry clay, and this process is a little messier, but it turns out looking more like actual tiles with grout lines. So I started by pressing a small amount of clay in between the tiles, and then carefully spread the clay out with my fingers to fill in the gaps and spaces between the tiles. You do want to use a little caution because the edges of the aluminum are still exposed at this point. But with a little bit of care, this is safe and you should be able to apply the clay without any nicks or cuts. Once I have the clay pressed firmly between several tiles, I clean off the aluminum portion with a damp sponge, and I like to work in small sections until I have the entire piece filled in. I let my clay dry overnight and then added more metal tape to the top and bottom edges of my projects. To finish the project and seal the air dry clay, I used high gloss Mod Podge. I really like this product because it's a little thicker and it doesn't drip, but you could use any sealer that you have for this step. I still have a lot of tiles left, but here's what I've made so far. 3 little catch-all bowls from yogurt containers, a tin can to hold my hot glue sticks, napkin rings made from the mounting tape tubes, a picture frame refrigerator magnet, a pretty reusable box, and a pot for planting. I hope you enjoyed today's quick project tutorial and that you were inspired to make some tiny tile projects of your own. Please hit the like button to help promote this video. If you haven't already, I'd love to have you join my YouTube family by clicking that subscribe button. You can check out more upcycling tutorials in the links below, and there are additional resources in the description box, including links to more tutorials and some of the materials used in this video. You can also find a link to sign up to receive the Upcycled Design Lab newsletter. Thanks so much for watching. I hope to see you soon back here in the lab for my next experiment.